Well, welcome back everybody. So today's video kind of spans about a 2-month period. So I figured I'd hop on here and give a little bit of a real-time update. So we originally were supposed to leave the campground hosting thing around Christmas. The hosts that were going to replace us canceled last minute, so they asked us to stay. So we've been here till now, which early March. So not been too much going on for us to post, so we've been a little bit quiet on videos other than our Kentucky property we bought. But this video is basically a compilation of different projects and little things I've been working on around the fifth wheel since we got it in late October. Going forward, we should have a few more videos coming pretty quickly. So we'll have this one, which is camper stuff. Then we bought a new bed for the camper, so had to do some modifications to make that work properly. So that'll probably be next week's video. And then this Saturday we hit the road again. So we'll have a stop in North Georgia mountains for a little bit, and then Kentucky for a little bit, which will be back at our property. And then to Indiana for a while. From there, we got a lot of upgrades on the camper and some more repairs to do. And then we're going to wing it from there. So who knows where we'll end up this summer. We're going to bounce around a little bit. Probably go down to the property several times and see what we can get started there. But as always, we'll share it with you as we go. We just don't really know what it'll be at this point. But for now, we'll get back to our regular scheduled video. Hello again. It's morning here. Chilly one at that. Well, Georgia's chilly, so upper 40s. So, got a few projects to start today and in the coming days on the fifth wheel. When we bought this, first time towing a fifth wheel, so I was really concerned about the unhooking process. So first time towing, got it back here. The campground we're at, not the ideal one for a first timer with a fifth wheel. The sights are 90 degrees to the road and has slight ditches on both sides, so getting it in was a little tricky, but only took a couple pull forwards and backups to get in, so I did better than I expected. Then I got it into the site and then went through the unhook process, which went pretty smooth. Well, I had a little battery issue there, so I have to figure out where I was, but anyway, so I got the truck camper backed into the site, went smooth. Everything was unhooked, and then as soon as I pulled the truck away from the fifth wheel, looked at Shannon and I told her, I was like, we just forgot step one. So we had our routine with our travel trailer. We could just hook and unhook in no time, have everything set up exactly the way we wanted. But the first thing I do once I get pulled into my spot is I make sure it's level left to right. I skipped that step. I was so worried about unhooking the fifth wheel from the hitch that I totally skipped the level left to right. It'd been a long enough day, we didn't want to mess with that day, so we just left it. So now today, I've got to hook up, which I need to practice anyway, but I'm going to pull it forward about a foot, re-level, go back, get everything nice and level. While I'm doing that, there's a few other things I'm going to get going. So instead of buying the little tripod thing for the pin box, we bought the JT's Strong Arm kit, I think is what it's called, that basically builds almost like bridge trusses underneath all the landing gear and everything. So I've started putting that on, but I've got to have the landing gear down a little further at the front to install the front ones. So that'll be part of this, is once I get this re-leveled, I can finish the install on that. So I'll go and show you where those are going. So you can see the landing gear here, I've got them almost all the way up here for stability, but I need to get this part dropped down a little further to have holes to hook onto, and then it basically builds a truss up to here. You can see here at the back I've already got these on. So for these back ones, I cheated a little bit. We'll see how it goes. I mean, if this is just to get lateral movement from rocking. But if you watch the Lippert installation videos for this, they're on a fifth wheel frame with no camper on it, so they can explain and show you how it hooks up, which is nice to see the reality where it's really mounting. But in the real world, you've got underbelly protection. You can't get to any of that frame. So it's a little bit of an ordeal to get to. So I went and got some just aluminum angle iron, essentially. I know that's a misnomer there, but yeah, so I just mounted the aluminum stock I got from stabilizer to stabilizer at the corner, and then mounted the hardware from this kit up to that. You can see the aluminum piece I put, mounted those to there, and then that comes back down to the bolt and the stabilizer. So when I get up to Indy this spring and have a little bit better of a location and tool availability, I might try to move that up higher into the frame and get it a little bit more stable, but we'll see how it does for now. But for today, I've got to get this thing re-leveled and then get the front ones installed. And unfortunately, to re-level this thing, it's almost like packing up to get out of here, but we're not getting out of here. So I've got to get this fencing disconnected, the slide in, the wheel chocks out, everything disconnected and away from the camper, hook up, pull it a foot forward, a foot back, and then reconnect all this. So it's kind of a big ordeal, but gonna do that. And then once that's done, we'll have one other problem, which will be related to this pin box, but I'll explain that here in a little bit. Okay, well, I'm a dummy and forgot to hit record when we were re-leveling, but the re-leveling is done. Front and back, left to right, everything's good. The next thing I was gonna do was take the pin box off the camper. It's a turning point hitch, and we're having a little bit of an issue with it, which I'll explain, but unfortunately the rain moved in, so it's already starting to rain now, so I can't be stuck out here doing that, and we have to have the camper unlevel in order to take that off. And of course our dog's afraid of the rain, so we've got to get the camper set up. Shannon's walking the dog one last time before the rain, because she'll be hiding somewhere in the camper the rest of the day. So whenever the rain moves out, which looks like probably tomorrow, then I'll come out here. We'll have to do half this process again, and then I'll show you what I'm doing with the pin box. All right, so we got this pin box off. The problem we were having with it is the trailer didn't want to track straight behind the truck when I towed it home. The turning point hitches, this actually pivots at the back, not the front. So these plates need to pivot across one another, so it causes the pivot point to be further back for a short truck. Which, if you get up on it, you can see this thing is like rusted and it doesn't want to turn properly. And I have a cat. Yeah, so on this front edge right here, if you look close on it, it's not straight. So even backing it up, it didn't want to go straight. So then going down the road, you turn, it'd be really loud. And then you straighten it, didn't want to pop back to center behind the truck. So it's about 150 pounds, so pretty heavy. 8 bolts holds it on to the top. So we had 3 guys out here. So had someone hold the front and back, and then I just took my impact and pulled the bolts out real quick, and then we just set it down. So now I'm gonna load it up and take it into the dealership, and they're gonna try to repair it. All right, so it's been a few weeks since we had the pin box at the shop. We just got it back the other day. All right, so just got our pin box back from the shop. They went ahead and redid the bearings and everything in it, and then the 2 plates that were catching on one another, they got those cleaned up. So things spins pretty well now. But now I gotta get it back on here. Now I gotta get back on here though. So the problem with that is, of course, dropping it with the weight wasn't that bad. But I think I'm to the point that I'm gonna have to have a couple other guys over here to help me. I'm trying to teeter it front to back and then put stuff under it to prop it up a little bit until I can get up close enough to get the bolt started. But I'm afraid it's gonna shift with just Shannon and I lifting it. So probably have to get a couple more people here to make sure the thing doesn't move as we lift it. But I'll go and show you what we got to now. So you can see I got the front propped up. And then in the back, I've got just a 2x. I'm wanting to get this to tilt up and then run the 2x4 across my jack stands to get that. And then I can just teeter more until I get up to getting the hole started. But until I have some more help, this is probably gonna be where I'm at for the day. Hopefully the guy down the road here that's been hosting with us gets back and he can help me get it close, and Shannon can just keep it from sliding. So we got some help out here. It took, well, 4 of us. So another couple out here, the other campground host actually helped us. We hoisted this up. I got some rebar, slid rebar into 2 holes on the side, and then got 2 bolts started on the other side. Once we got that far, then it was just on me basically. We got the other bolts all started, and then I ran those in, and now I'm torquing them to spec, and then the pin box will be done.
Yay! I'm glad. That means we can take off.
Yep.
Getting your exercise.
Yep.
Are you done now?
Yep.
Yay.
All right, so to go back why I had to have work done on this, right now this is locked in like a normal pin box. So pivot point would be here. With the shorter bed, the advantage of this, there's 2 bolts right here, which I will take out. And before, when these were out, it made no difference. It was still locked in place. I need to be shorter.
I can stand right underneath it, no problem.
Okay, so now after having this rebuilt, so now you can see it pivots back here. So now,
Yeah, I did not do that last time.
yeah, so now pivoting further back keeps the corner of this from hitting the window of the truck.
Which we don't want the window of
this
the
was
truck.
all seized up before, so the dealership rebuilt this for us. Now we're good to go.
Yay. We can officially take off now.
Since we leave the campground here this Saturday, can't really start any more projects. Like always, I didn't get all the ones done I wanted. So those will probably get done this summer when we're up in Indy. But just to kind of preview a few things that will be coming. One is lubricating the holes for the valves for all the waste tanks. These Nautilus systems use these pull valves here. As time goes, those get grit or whatever on them and they're a little bit tighter to pull, which can cause damage down the road. Spot a little contraption online some guy made to force lubricant down into those cables. So I gotta get that done. We also had an issue where the foot pedal on the toilet just drips once in a while. Not real bad. So we keep an eye on it, and instead of rebuilding the whole toilet, putting all new seals in, I just bought a new pedestal with all of it put together and ready so I can swap it out real quick. And then our awning, last time we put it out, it kind of made a popping noise, and the screws are coming loose a little bit from the side. So we can't use our awning now. I'll have to take it down, reseal it, and resecure all those screws, get that done. So that'll all be coming, but for now, we're focused on reorganizing, packing, and then hitting the road this Saturday. So for now, wrap this one up, and we'll see you guys in the next video.